Happy New Year!
Alright, we're back. It's episode 4. Don't get confused.
Yes.
There's only 3 out. Don't question us. Just don't.
It's
All
here's
right.
what we should do.
Here's what we should do. I'm Cooper. This is Shannon.
This intro is so much better already.
Thanks. Yeah. Last week I thought I was ready, and
You
I was
weren't.
not. I wasn't. I got ready for the whole episode, and I was prepared to. I was like, yeah, I'll just do the intro. And I was like, I didn't think about it. I was like, I'll just do the intro. I didn't.
Well, if y'all follow us on Instagram, you'll get to see our redneck ingenuity, how we've
Yeah.
got this set up, aluminum foil for our lighting.
Wow.
It's great. It really is.
It
Hopefully, y'all love this quality better.
Yeah, it actually looks amazing, and I'm not questioning it.
If you do follow us on Instagram, feel free to ask us questions.
Yeah, send them in. Comment on here. Comment on Instagram. On Instagram, it's just here's what we should do. P the username, and it's just here's what we should do podcast, just the name. And yeah, we post a bunch of stuff on there all the time. Just the stuff we do to together or separate or just fun stuff. And we like to hear from people, and we want to start reaching out more and interact more.
That way we can make more episodes.
Exactly.
The more content y'all give us, the more content we can put out.
Exactly. We want to know what people actually want to see, not just us blabbering.
Speaking of things people want to see, I was thinking about the whole thing of us spraying each other with mace and all that. And I feel like we shouldn't do that if we don't have viewers.
No, not yet.
So if we can get enough viewers, then we'll start testing self-defense, less than lethal self-defense products on each other.
Maybe some close to lethal. No, I'm just kidding. But
Maybe some cattle prods.
we're going to have a lot of fun with
Yeah.
it. But we want it to, we want people to see and enjoy it,
But we
and-
also want to, shed light on some things that you can do besides carry, because I know that there's a lot of people that aren't comfortable with carrying a firearm.
Right.
I carry every day. Cooper carries sometimes. It's just, some people don't, and I understand that. If you're not comfortable carrying a firearm, if you're not comfortable with the fact that you may have to take somebody's life, don't do it. Because you just get yourself hurt or get killed yourself.
Yeah, and I think just everyone should have some kind of
Protection.
something,
Yeah.
I mean, just be prepared for any, we can't be prepared for everything, but
You can be prepared for most things.
yeah.
But yeah, so last week, what all did we talk about?
Man, feels like eternity ago.
It does.
Now.
But it was actually only 2 weeks ago.
It was a lot of fun. We redid some things that we had shot in the forgotten episode,
The lost one.
the lost episode. Not the name game. The name game is coming up. We got to redo it now that we know all of each other's names. So that will hopefully
Because
have
we're
some
not
features.
actors.
We're not, and we don't know how to press record on camera either.
Yeah. You are recording this one, right?
I am. I checked twice. Do you want to?
Should I check again?
You could.
I trust you.
I
It's me
trusted-
that messes
I would
it up,
say I
so-
trusted you last time.
Yeah, and that's what happened. So maybe I should go check.
You can.
Uh,
Hey, we're
I guess
paranoid.
I'm going to check.
Yeah, we're paranoid now. Is it counting?
If there's a red... Oh, it's counting. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're good.
All right.
All right, so now that we know we're recording,
We can actually keep on going and not waste an hour of our life.
we talked about me setting myself on fire.
Yeah, we went into that. We went into the birth of your son and that story, how that came about.
Yeah. The concept... Well, not really the process of conception, but finding out that we were having a
Oh,
son.
that was not a question I'm willing to ask or wanting to
You don't
ask.
want to know?
No, I really don't.
I mean,
I'm sure you
I don't remember when it was, to be honest.
don't know the exact moment.
I
Anyways,
think it was summertime in 2000.
just calculate the months.
Yeah. Well, he was a little early, so I think it was summertime. Anyway, so there was some stuff that you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, I guess I even said this last week that we brought it up. That's what it was. We brought it up last week, and I talked about it a little bit on our little segment we're gonna be doing every time Weird Quarters of the Internet. I talked about my NHL Xbox One video game hockey league that I play.
Did you get accepted into that, by the way?
I am in it. The draft is not for another few days though. But yeah, like to recap on that, if you missed it, I play goalie for a virtual hockey
Fake.
league, a fake hockey league with a bunch of Canadian dudes who make fun of me for having a Texan accent, and I have no idea.
Pause. You just said a bunch of comedian dudes. What you meant to
Canadian
say was
dudes.
Canadian.
Did I say
I'm
comedian?
pretty sure you said comedian.
I apologize. They're not comedians.
Maybe some of them might be.
They're not funny. They're just jerks.
Hopefully they don't ever watch your show.
Probably not. Not that I'm not gonna tell them that I talked about them anymore.
Anywho.
But yeah, and I talked about how I just play a lot of video games and I'm involved in this league, and I just think it's something I wanted to start to get into and get the ball rolling here is video games in a very broad spectrum of what people think and what they are, and just I wanted to kind of open it up and like say what do video games mean do you think to most people?
For me, personally, it's just a kill time. For me. It's not, I know a lot of people, it's, they get off of work, they go home, they play video games. I'm not like that. I have been lately because I just got a PS4.
Right.
Which, well, really, I haven't even because I'll go home and throw the axe a little bit and hang out with Waylon out in the yard for a little bit. But I've been playing a lot more, and weirdly, I've been playing Minecraft, which is the least violent game I think I've ever played in my life.
Yeah. And
Besides Diddy Kong Racing. I don't know, that was kind of violent, but you shot rockets at each other.
But I think that's one of the things is people, when you say video game, that I think kind of now that something people jump to is like a war game or something like that. I'm not sure, but that's I think that's what I think of, and I think a lot of people think that too. And I don't know, I think there's a lot of misconceptions.
I agree
about video games, and I also think there's some not misconceptions that need to be addressed as well with some people, and there's a lot of pros and cons that come with both sides of it.
And we can get into that.
Let's do that.
Let's keep in line with what you got here. First off, the evolution of technology.
Yeah.
So what was your first game system? That's what I want to know.
I think my first one was probably a Nintendo 64, but I don't remember that one as well. Just because it was my brother's, and I was just like, whatever. But now I'm glad you asked this because now I'm my first vivid, great video game that I wanted to get back so bad was I had a GameCube, and I had a little 10-inch TV in my room that I sat at the very edge of my bed and played all day long.
Because you had to, because the cord was only this long.
Exactly, yeah. And the TV was that big around, and I want that. I want that exact 10-inch TV, and I want a new GameCube, and I'm going to play Super Smash Brothers on it. And
I know people that play Smash Brothers competitively.
Yeah. I miss it.
So weird.
It's been over 10 years since I played that game.
Oh wait, go ahead.
What?
I just interrupted you. I have a bad habit of that.
You're good.
My first game system was the gray NES.
What?
With the flip top. You know what that is?
No, I don't. I don't think I do.
Nintendo Entertainment Center or System.
Oh.
And so it's a gray cube, and that's what Mario first came out on. That's what, I think Tetris was on Atari.
Okay.
Mario, Excite Bike, Dr. Mario, pretty much mostly Mario stuff was on there. But there was like Castlevania, the original Castlevania was on there. I am drawing a blank now. I could have told you yesterday what it was.
Right.
But just basic games. And my favorite one was Excite Bike because I've always been into motorcycles.
Yeah.
But I could never figure it out. I'd always crash. And I'm like, why is this thing not going any faster? Why is everybody beating me? But yeah, Nintendo had the square controller. It was this big, and you had to hold it like this. Well, back then, I guess I was like this. I know my mom loved playing Dr. Mario.
Oh, really?
And her cousin would kick us out of the house so that they could play without us.
That's awesome.
And then I had Nintendo 64, which is probably the one that got me really into playing video games a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because they had GoldenEye 007.
Oh,
awesome.
Yeah.
Diddy Kong Racing.
Classics.
There was one other one that I played all the time, and I can't remember what it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that's what I started playing video games on, and then PlayStation 2.
I would say, did you grow up, pretty much playing it like throughout even high school and all that the whole time? Or when did you kind of like drift off from it?
So I never really was a huge gamer.
Yeah.
Like, I played outside far more than I ever played video games.
Right.
But PlayStation 2 had Need for Speed.
Yeah.
And I loved car games, so I started playing car games. And then my buddy was like, check this game out. And it was Grand Theft Auto.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, oh.
Yep, I remember.
Have sex in an alley with a hooker? Yes, sir.
I remember.
This 10-year-old needs that.
Yep,
in his
exactly.
life.
I remember doing that.
No, I was probably 12.
Yeah, I remember being in middle school, going to my friend's house for the first time, and he was having a PlayStation with the Grand Theft Auto on it. It was like, what?
Yeah.
He's got all the cheat codes printed out.
Oh yeah, we
had
had
a-
sheets.
Yeah, exactly. He had sheets. They were taped up to his like it was all
Yeah.
there all the time. I was every game I had. I got.
I
all the
still
cheat
remember
codes.
the weapons code. R1, R2, L1, R2, left
Yeah.
down, right up, left down, right
It's
up.
like
And then the health was R1, R2. No wait, yeah, R1, R2, L1, R2, left down, right up, left down, 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 down.
in Captain America, the Winter Soldier guy, where they tell him the code and he like resets and he like is ready to go. That's like for all those kids.
Yeah.
That's like the code. They start saying R1,
R1, R2, L1, R2, left down, right up, left
You
down,
have a
down,
bunch
down,
of
down. Oh
kids
wait, no,
like, what?
down, down, down was the to remove the police
Yeah.
stars.
That's just like a calling card for now, and that's what I mean. Like for kids, it's just growing up. Especially now, it's just insane. It's really just crazy. And now that we've come all the way from that little NES
Mm-hmm.
to what a lot of people,
PlayStation 5 is about to come out.
that, and we have so much VR now coming out, and that's getting huge. And man, I cannot wait to get my hands on one eventually. But
I have a PlayStation 4. You could buy it for me. and
I
we'll
could.
share it.
I don't tempt me that much, okay? Because I will.
Don't push me because I'm close to the edge.
But yeah, I just and like it goes into this. Not only this culture, like kids, it's changing with the kids growing up. Kids are growing up with different things
And making
When I was-
money off of this.
Yeah, and that's one of the huge things too. And you can now, and that's what kids don't even play video games as much now as they just watch people play them.
Yeah, or they work. They're playing, they're working.
Exactly, yeah, and that's what a mom comes in and tells a kid to get off this thing. He's like, "Mom, I just made $200."
Yeah.
It's just like, excuse me, what?
Yeah, these new shoes that I just got?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you didn't pay for them.
It's insane, and but
It doesn't help with the entitlement that all these kids have now.
No,
too.
not at all, and it's part of that whole culture now we have today of just every year or 6 months or whatever the newest.
Mhm.
The shiny, everyone has to get the brand new thing that every year an Xbox comes out. Every year a new game,
Cell
a
phone.
new football game comes out every year. It's the same freaking game every year. I'll talk to you about Madden one day. It's horrible.
Yeah, I played Madden in 2000.
It hasn't changed
Madden
much.
2007 was the last one I had, I think.
I think every EA Sports really controls most of the games except for basketball. They control the sports games like NHL and football and soccer. That's the big FIFA, and it's so underdeveloped every single year, and everyone still freaking buys
What,
it.
FIFA?
FIFA, Madden, NHL,
Oh.
everything they make, and it's just like poor. It's not poorly done. It's not easy.
less than great.
Yeah, it's.
But it can't be easy because they're doing
No.
so many different characters. There's so many
yeah.
different characters that have exact plot points or whatever. Not plot points, but they
Yeah.
have their own statistics and they have
Yeah.
to update those statistics.
They do.
and all that stuff.
And that's what they do have. I do follow the Madden community, I guess, a little bit, and they, the developers and stuff on Twitter. They're actually, that's another crazy thing is a lot of like on Madden at least, the developers are on Twitter answering questions all the time, taking suggestions, and
You mean like we could be if people were asking us questions?
yeah, if people would actually ask us questions. No one, we gotten like one comment on one of these videos.
Did we?
Yeah, Jeff.
Oh.
you know.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jeff.
All right. Anywho, but yeah, so it's crazy how much in contact we are with the people that actually make these games.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's hard to make a game, but yeah, no one wants a bad game, and they're not trying to make a bad game. They are trying to make money off the games, which is understandable.
I mean, you build a product, you want to make money off of it.
Man, if you could hear some of these Canadian dudes complain about NHL. I mean, I do too. My brother's, at least, has broken many controllers over the hockey game, because that one will get you. Because that's an addicting game that when it's going good, it's a beautiful thing. And when it messes up, oh, you want to burn the house down. Our catchphrase usually is grab a toaster. that's a normal thing for us. Anyways.
So we're definitely going to talk about the negative things about games, because we can't talk about video games without talking about the negatives.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was alluding to, is that.
But why don't we start with the positives, because I'm not sure very many of them.
Right. I mean,
and you did research on this, and I did.
I did kind of look this up to see what people say. I looked around what people are saying in general, actual articles and studies. I tried to get a little kind of a wide range of just what people think and what people have actually researched and done, and kind of what I found, like, as far as positives go, you know, especially right now, it's extremely social.
Mm-hmm.
And it's nothing like it used to be. You're not, just because a person plays video games all day doesn't mean they're a hermit that doesn't talk to anyone or do anything. They may not have a lot of real friends all the time, but
we don't have a lot of real friends.
That's another topic. But it is extremely social, and you can.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't tell you how many people I've met. I mean, we've actually. One of these Canadian guys ended up being a Stars fan, and he actually came down one year, and we went to a hockey game with this guy, and we met him, and he's an amazing dude.
Did he buy you tickets?
No, we all bought our own tickets. We coordinated it. He's a cool dude, and we're still friends now. We don't play as much anymore, but I mean, it's crazy, and it's a good thing, and that can also turn into a bad thing
with children.
Yeah, and it's, I think Xbox, at least I don't know much about PlayStation or other ones, but they do have good privacy settings where you can restrict if you have children. You know.
Yeah, I was setting up my PlayStation, and you have to answer like 50,000 questions about security.
Exactly.
And it's a pain in the butt, but
yeah.
I understand it. I mean, I don't care personally, but
I
only play with one person, and she's a 14-year-old girl who's in my youth group. So that sounded bad.
A big thing with that nowadays, though, is microtransactions in video games. That's a huge deal and a huge topic also that I'm not getting into, but that's a huge part of all your major games that everyone plays, like Call of Duty, Madden, and Fortnite and whatnot.
Especially Fortnite.
Oh yeah,
all the skins. And
that's what I mean. You can do that in Call of Duty now. The exact same thing now.
Really?
Oh yeah, buy guns, all that stuff, and I mean it's addicting.
Yeah.
And it's because they changed the currency. They don't make it just like dollars.
Mm-hmm.
They make it like whatever their
Credits.
coins. Their coins. Yeah, you have to buy their
it's
coins.
Like Bitcoin.
Yeah, it's different. It's
not.
not.
I'm not even gonna talk about that.
But yeah, I mean, I've done it. I've bought a lot of stuff. And I don't even.
Okay, so whenever Clash of Clans first came out,
yeah,
I had that, and I spent probably about $20 on my mother-in-law's Apple account.
I don't want to say how
on
much
accident
I've spent on Madden. I can't tell you. And the sad thing is that because
you don't even play it anymore.
That I play it, but they have an online mode where you can build your own team, and they come out with new it's like a trading card part of it, and they come out with new ones all through the year of the same players, and the whole year you're just trying to get the best team you can and build up. And easy way to build up your team early is to buy the cards, buy the pack cards and buy stuff. And the thing about that is next year that's all gone. You don't have. That's just restart every year, and man, I can't tell you. I don't want to even say. I was in it deep, and now I cannot play that. I cannot play that game mode anymore, at all. Even if I just log on to it today, I haven't played it all year. This new Madden. Even if I just log on
Dude,
today, I would be like,
it is the fourth day of this year.
it is the fourth. That's not this year. This whole Madden since Madden came out. But even if I just logged on there today, look at that thing. I don't even have a team set up or anything. I would be so tempted to go and get stuff.
So you're
with that one, I have a problem. And I'm not kidding.
So do we want to go into the negatives now? Well, we never even did any positives.
Were there any positives? No, there are positives, and you know,
making money off of it.
Yeah, you can make money off of it. I mean, it's a very small percentage of people who do, but it's a lot bigger percentage now than it ever has been ever. And it is possible just to even make minimal amounts of money. And I kind of actually want to use our YouTube channel to do maybe some little things here and there with it.
What do you mean?
In the future?
Oh,
videos.
Of
yeah.
you playing video games?
Well, maybe me, maybe us, maybe, I don't know, maybe like me showing how to try and teach you how to play.
I mean, I'm cool with learning how to play NHL because I kind of want to learn how to play that.
NHL, as long as you know the positions and the rules of the positions.
Nope, I don't.
You don't?
No.
Oh, you played hockey. What the heck, man?
Yeah, when I was 7 and 8.
Come on, you gotta learn. You gotta get.
Right.
No.
Well, that's why my coach didn't like me either.
So yeah, if you get into an online game and you've never played hockey, you don't know the rules, you don't know what position you're playing, and you're just following the puck around the ice. Yeah, you're just chasing it. You will have Canadian dudes cussing you out in words you don't know or just don't understand. But anyways, positives. This wasn't something I thought about a whole lot, but when I did do research, people did say after studies that especially children, it can benefit their basic cognitive and motor skills, reaction time. They say the main ones are reaction time, problem solving, stuff like that, and they say it helps. And the thought I keep having when I think about that is, yeah, it improves it maybe when you're a kid, and it helps it, but it's not like if you do this all day, every day, you're gonna be an amazing.
Yeah,
you're not gonna get amazing. Yeah, you're not. It's
just
not,
because you play Hitman for years on end doesn't make you a hitman.
You can be an amazing virtual hitman.
Or you play Call of Duty doesn't mean you'll be an actual good soldier.
I mean, we might be soon. Have you seen all these of people playing their Call of Duty? They're trying to get their score streaks down and stuff to make them not draft them.
I did watch a video of a gaming team.
Yeah.
Like a team of gamers who play Call of Duty nonstop.
Yeah.
Playing against actual military personnel. Which I don't know what branch they were. I think they were all from different branches.
Okay.
Which that could play a part because they don't communicate the same way. I'm not sure. But the gamers beat the military guys.
Really?
So they did like 3 matches and they did paintball.
Okay.
So it was kind of actual combat but kind of not.
Yeah.
And they just wanted to see if the gamers could actually, use the communication that they use.
I was going to say, that's a big part of those games we play is communication.
Yeah, so part of the problem is, and this is my mechanical brain, is for one, or scientific method, because it has to be like a controlled environment.
Okay, yeah.
So the gamers knew each other. They were on a team. So they communicated the same way that they would if they were playing the game.
Right, they've been playing probably for years together.
Whereas the military guys were from different branches. They may have met each other before or talked about it.
They do completely different operations, training, whatnot.
So that could take a part in it.
But they're also
professional.
professional.
But they may be a drone pilot or
right, or mechanic, or you know,
yeah, not everybody
not everybody in the
is
military.
front lines in the military.
Yeah, exactly. That is very true.
Like Brent is an avionics technician, which
Exactly.
I'm not saying that any part of the military is better than any other part.
No,
I'm just saying that if you put somebody in a combat situation, they should be trained for combat,
exactly.
which everybody is,
Mhm.
but some are trained more than others
Right.
for combat. Some are trained for working on airplanes, some are trained for cooking,
Yeah,
police, whatever. And those people are needed.
Yeah.
But you can't put a cook in a combat situation and expect him to perform as well as
exactly.
a combat trained veteran.
Yeah, because preparation and
Yeah.
communications half the battle.
Yeah, because they practice it nonstop.
Exactly. At least, yeah, I know from my limited experience that that's all we do all game is yell at each other where people are and try and coordinate what we should do and how we should do it. We're not good at it, but we try. There are some people that are. And then, I mean, and the biggest thing with video games is that they are what they are and they're fun.
Yeah.
I mean,
You have to realize that it's not real. It's not real life.
yeah. And it's just, I mean, that's what they're made to be. It's just fun, money sucking things.
But if you understand that your kid has a problem with aggression and anger, then maybe don't let him play aggressive and angry games.
Exactly.
Um,
Don't feed into it, but, you know,
know that that's not the demon. The demon is what's bothering your kid.
yeah. And there are, you know, games like that too. You know, you should, as a parent, you should always do your research on what a game is.
Yeah, I'm not going to let my 12-year-old play Grand Theft Auto.
Grand Theft Auto, not Dante's Inferno.
I'm not really. I wouldn't let my 18-year-old play Grand Theft Auto, even though I play it.
Yeah, it's. I mean, that one.
Far Cry.
At least for me, Grand Theft Auto takes it another.
Oh, for sure.
Another level.
But Far Cry is, catching up to them.
Is it? Well, I mean, you can steal cars, but I mean, it's not like.
Yeah, but you're also killing people, and they.
Just, you know.
It's less. It's more.
It's a little more
superficial
cartoonish
stuff.
It's a little bit more cartoonish, I think.
I don't know.
Not lately. Not
Like
the new
Far
one.
Cry 5.
Far Cry 5.
I've been playing that, and it is
true.
brutal. Like torturing people.
Okay.
And,
Yeah. Far Cry 5, as amazing as a game it is, yes. That's a definite, you should do your own research. If
Absolutely.
you're going to let your kid play that, you should play it. You should,
Play it all the way through.
Watch
Put it on the easiest mode possible and play it all the way through.
Watch one of these million streamers playing it all
That
the way
too.
through. There's speed run. I mean, that's one of the things you could find any video on any game of someone playing it through, or
Like beating a whole game in an hour.
exactly.
Yeah.
But. But I mean, they're fun.
Yeah.
And that's what all video games are supposed to be. They're not, and there's so many options for just family fun.
Yeah.
Like that you have Wii's and they don't do the Kinect anymore for the Xbox, but now the VR. I mean, you can involve everyone, and
Those stupid workout games.
Yeah, that one. Did that video ever go anywhere? Is that one up?
Jeremy still has it.
I have one too.
Do you?
That's going up somewhere. Go follow us on Instagram for that eventually.
I was like, never mind.
What was that? What was it? A Wii? What was that?
It's
it
the
was
Nintendo Switch.
It was a Nintendo Switch.
It was the circle thing.
Yeah,
Brain-
it's like a fit thing for the Nintendo Switch, and you fight a boss, and you have to squat 100 times to kill the boss.
Hey, but I realized after watching that video, I got some glutes, baby.
Yeah, I'm sure the next day you were just limping.
I mean, I was fine, honestly.
But yeah, and I mean, with all that's good about it, we've already got into a little bit what's bad about it, and there's a lot to say what's bad about it. But at the same time, just like I say, what's good about it, there's limitations to what's good about it, and there's limitations to what's bad about it, and you can, defer. There's so many different options and such a huge variety of things that you can do, and
I mean, as long as you aren't buying your kid basically Grand Theft Auto and Far Cry, and if you're letting your kids play whatever they want, then yeah, there's going to be repercussions. But if you're doing your due diligence and you make sure, just like with anything else that you let your kid do, whether it's an iPad or a cell phone or Facebook or Instagram or Snapchat or any of that stuff, as long as you know what your kid is doing, then you're fine.
Yeah.
But if you're just giving your kid an iPad with no restrictions or anything and letting them go off in their room with the door shut, then you're probably going to have some bad repercussions from that.
Something's coming out of there, and it's whether they're looking at themselves or it's, coming to them, or...
I mean, riding the school bus, being at school.
Yeah.
People are showing people stuff all the time, and it doesn't matter if you keep it out of your house. If they're around other kids, they're going to find it.
Mm-hmm.
And you also have to teach your kid how to discern whether they should be looking at it or not.
Right. You don't have to be the, they have the responsibility themselves.
So you don't have to babysit them all the time.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, that's a good point.
We just took this way far. A different way.
I mean, that's part of this. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what,
But
I'm
yeah.
sure every parent worries about,
Absolutely.
all the time. I don't know what your thoughts are right now with Waylon starting to get into things. And
So my biggest thing is, like I said, I play video games. I play video games that are probably inappropriate.
Right.
I don't play them in front of my kid. And
Yeah.
if I am playing them in front of my kid, he's not paying attention. And I usually, 99.9% of the time, I turn it off.
Yeah, and you don't
Or I
seek,
play something else. I
would say
start
you don't-
playing Minecraft.
you don't
I enjoy that.
You're not someone that seeks out a malicious, terrible game that's,
Yeah.
anything bad, but, yeah. And, yeah, you use your common sense.
Also, I
obviously.
didn't pay for these games. Somebody gave them to me. Thank you, Donovan.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to. He's too young to learn about it now,
Right.
but he will learn about it,
Yeah.
whether I'm the one that teaches him or somebody else is. So why not tell him, hey, look, this is a thing that you might run into. It's not okay.
Yeah.
Just be aware that it's there.
Right. And
don't go seeking it and try to, I don't know. I don't
Be
even
honest
know.
about
I'm
it.
not even there.
I was
Not
saying,
even at that point
right.
yet.
I think it's like you're kind of trying to say, not hiding it from them,
Exactly.
being honest about it
Yeah.
and acknowledging that it's there, and, part of it's your choice and part of it's their choice, and that's probably going to get more increasingly difficult through the years.
I'll let you know.
Not trying to scare you,
Oh, no, I know.
but
Trust me. I'm fully aware.
yeah,
And it's scary. And there's just so much stuff that has happened that people have blamed on, whether it's video games or music or,
Yeah.
Eminem and Marilyn Manson back in the day. Weird Eminem, Marilyn Manson. They were everybody's scapegoat.
Yeah.
Before video games got pulled into it more.
right.
But yeah, and I listened to both of them, and I never shot anybody
Exactly.
more than once. I shot people with paintball guns all the time, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I never had the urge to run up in my school shooting, and I was picked on all the time.
Yeah.
I got treated like crap in high school and middle school. I
That's
never ever wanted to kill everyone or anyone.
because it has more to do with how you were taught and raised, and
Yeah.
I mean, that stuff. I don't know where it comes from and people, but it doesn't just come from a video game. Even though
No.
yes, you do have to take your precautions and keep an eye on things, and it has been proven that while a violent Grand Theft Auto video game isn't good for your children, they don't inherently cause violence. They don't inherently cause your kids to do bad things. They might not discourage them at all from them, but
And they may influence.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
How can they not?
you get influence from everything, though.
Exactly.
One way or another, you're getting influence. And if you're watching the news, you're seeing the same things.
Right.
And I don't understand people that are like, oh, well, I don't let my kid watch this movie, which is fine. I guess it's your choice, bottom line. But you'll let your kid watch the Channel 4 news or Channel whatever news. I don't watch the news, so I don't know. But you'll let them watch the news and see so and so got killed, so and so got killed. Here's a puppy. So and so got killed, so and so got killed. This person was raped and murdered. This
Right.
person was raped and murdered. Let's watch Law and Order SVU.
Right.
And then you want to tell people that playing video games is what caused your son to do things.
Exactly. Yeah.
Come on, man.
Or if you go about it the wrong way when you address it with them, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing if you let your kid watch it, but you have to take precautions. You have to explain to them.
You have to.
This is what this person did. This is why it's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not having conversations with your kid, they're never going to talk to you.
Exactly. And
I'm not an expert parent by any means. I have a 3-year-old, and I'm sure I've already messed him up.
yeah, I don't think we're like really speaking to anyone. We're not speaking to anyone specific, and you know, I don't think I don't think most parents think this way or at all. But you know, it's always good to just kind of get it out there, and like you want everyone to
Mm-hmm.
share and just kind of don't just assume. Sorry about that. But check into things and
Do your due diligence.
Yeah, I mean, if the Channel 4 News says that video games are melting your kid's brain, I mean, do a little bit more. Go into it a little bit more.
Maybe play them with them, man.
Play them.
If your kid's into something, do it with them.
Yeah.
Don't just take them to it.
Don't shut it down either.
Yeah.
If you're scared.
I mean, obviously, if it's
if
unsafe or if it's unproductive in their life, if it's destructive in their life, definitely dissuade them.
Mm-hmm.
But if your kid loves skateboarding, go with him to the skate park. Don't just take him and drop him off. Take him and watch him skate and encourage him. Or if your kid is into football, go throw the football with them.
Yeah.
You get off the video game.
Yeah.
You go play with them.
Get off the news.
Yeah. Stop sitting in your lawn chairs and drinking beer and watching him throw a football up in the air. Go throw the football to him.
Yeah. You're right. That's a big part of it is, you don't let them think by themselves and figure it out completely by themselves. You've been through the same things, whatever, if it was bad or good growing up, you've seen things and you've learned, and now that's basically your responsibility now is to pass that on to them. And, I obviously don't know what I'm talking about. But
I agree with people who say let your kids fight their own battles.
Yeah.
But you have to teach your kid to fight the battles.
Right.
If they don't know how to fight them, they're not going to fight them.
Exactly.
If they know how to fight them, then they can fight them with you.
Yeah.
Or they can come to you and say, Dad, this is what's happening. I don't know what to do. And you can give him advice instead of him being scared to come to you and going to his friends and getting advice from his friends. I worry that's my biggest dream for Waylon is that no matter what's going on in his life, he'll always come to me and talk to me. It's the one thing that I want from him.
Getting back into no. We got a little not off track, but I mean
A little off track.
But it's good. That's what I like about this. We can just go wherever we want.
Yeah.
But yeah, you mentioned it while you were talking. One of the things about the video game specifically is they are. It's easy to get sucked in and have way too much of it.
Yes.
It's very easy to waste 4.5, 8 hours.
I did it the other day. I was just sitting there playing video games and I wasn't paying attention, and next thing I know, it was 4 hours later.
Exactly. And
I was like, oh my God, I have a splitting headache.
And it's like, when I bring up, saying that things are, the video games are good for you, saying that, they help you with problem solving skills and whatnot like that. Not for the time you had to put into them.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like a training exercise. I don't recommend people do those things, even though I do think for a small child learning how to work a controller, learning what all the buttons do, I think that's not a bad thing for them. But
if that's what you're trying to do, you hand them the controller, turn on the TV, and say, figure it out.
Yeah.
You don't sit there and say, this button does this, this button does this, this button does this. You let them press the button and look at the screen.
Yeah, see what he does.
And see what happens.
Yeah.
But you limit it.
Sorry.
I realize that sounds like, oh,
No.
here we go, babysitter. You're gonna figure this out. And I'm
No.
gonna walk away.
No, my instant thought was like, all right, press this button, and he presses the button, and the dude punches him in the face and takes his car.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay.
That's not the game that we're trying to teach you.
Nope, that's where my mind went, and I've just been melted by video games, obviously.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, and
Well, I was thinking shooting.
and then inherently video games are extremely unproductive.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
like, I mean, you spend 4 hours a day on a video game. I mean, that's 4 hours gone, and you literally have accomplished nothing out here. You may have done tons on there, or maybe somehow you're a successful
Dude,
streamer
I built a
or YouTuber.
whole castle in 4 hours the other day.
Yeah, where's that castle?
Built a whole castle.
Where is it?
It's on Molly's World on Minecraft.
Exactly. I mean, it's just like,
Yeah.
it's so, and I'm not even talking to crap about it, because I'm still gonna do it after Shannon leaves. I'm gonna probably play for
And I'm
an
probably
hour or
gonna
so.
play for an hour before I go to bed tonight.
Yeah, and as adults, I guess we can get away from the kids. I mean, you have to, take that responsibility and limit yourself. And I've been trying to wean off a little bit, even though I'm getting into a league now where I'm going to play hockey. But that's about going to be all I do ever. And I'm going to have a schedule for that, and that's going to be different.
You're gonna limit yourself to just playing NHL for that?
Pretty much. I mean, and I only have so much time, too.
Yeah.
I come home at 5 o'clock every day. I mean, it's enough time for me to cool down, and, play.
Do you take a shower as soon as you get home?
Depends on the day,
I'm just curious because I have to. As soon as I get home, that's the first thing I do.
I mean, when I was doing what you do, I would, do it. I mean, you had to.
Yeah.
I mean, but I mean, I only have so much time, after work, and we usually have something going on. We have a show that we want to watch. We have to make dinner. We have to, I mean, we gotta get back in bed by 9-10 o'clock, and I mean, I don't, but no, I'm just kidding.
I just laugh because you don't have children, and you haven't figured out yet that you don't have to do all of those things, and you're probably not gonna get to do all those things.
Well, I mean, that's what we do it now.
Oh
We
yeah,
try-
I'm
you
just
know,
saying.
We try to be responsible,
Yeah.
semi-adults. We're working on it, and I do a little. I know I get bad when I play if I have a day off or something. If I don't have any plans or anything, I am on the couch. I am watching YouTube videos on my phone, and I am with my phone on my charger because it's going to be hours of like podcasts and just videos and Demolition Ranch and everything, and playing Xbox all day, just cycling through the games, and then I'll eventually play all of my games and get super bored, and then I'll finally find my girlfriend
And then
somewhere.
Finally, call me and be like, "Hey, what are you doing?"
Yeah, you want to play Minecraft? No. No. But yeah, I mean, it's just, it's just a, this huge give and take thing, just like with anything. It's too much of a good thing is always a bad thing. And I mean, I just thought it was kind of fun to talk about, I don't know where I'm going with this now.
About video games.
Well, yeah, about video games. I just, I don't know where I got the idea from. I just kind of, Shannon's starting to get into it now. I got into the hockey league, and I kind of wanted to do some research just mostly for myself and to share as well and see what really, people think, people say, and what people have actually found out.
Yeah, so maybe our 4 viewers could post some questions or what their experiences are with it. You guys, that's you.
Yeah.
So you
If you play
comment on our
yeah.
YouTube channel, comment on our Instagram. I think there's a Facebook, but I don't think we've
There's a
posted it.
Facebook page that should be getting all of our Instagram posts. Probably isn't, but
Oh,
we'll try. And
I haven't even looked at it.
I
think
I haven't either. I'm supposed to be running it.
Oh, yeah.
But
I posted something on Instagram just now.
yeah. Where was I?
You were in this house. This
Was-
is your house.
Am I? Where am I? Is this real?
What does it all mean?
Apologies.
So, we've talked about all the stuff on video games that we wanted to, I think.
Yeah, and we kind of touched on it, and when we kind of went on a little tangent there about, you know, the misconception of violence stemming from video games or different things, probably.
Yeah.
And I think now it's more TV and video games and all of
News and
the YouTubes and the
even podcasts, I think, because we've got so many, and I'm not trying to blame anybody or anything like that. This is not the blame game. But, you know, we talk about these guys, these serial killers. There's all these serial killer podcasts, and they're awesome. They do a phenomenal job on a lot of them, and I binge listened to them for a long time, but they started getting me in a dark place. And I had to stop listening to a lot of them because I was just, I mean, these true crime ones are vivid and they're so good. And these people do so much research and they spend so much time and they're so much better podcasters than us. But I'm just like, man, you get into this headspace where you binge listen to them and it makes it kind of,
changes you.
yeah, it really, I could feel myself getting darker and getting into a darker place. I had to stop.
Right.
So I did, but they talk about how some of the more recent serial killers or mass shooters or whatever have basically made it a competition or tried to outdo other people, other serial killers, other mass shooters to see how many people they can get done before they go out. And it's scary to think about that because there's somebody right now that's listening to one of those podcasts and they're taking notes. I can't remember who it was or where he was or anything like that, but he had a chart, a spreadsheet that he made of this killer, this killer, this killer, this killer, the area that they were in, how many they killed, how many they injured, how many they did this, whatever, you know, how many years they lasted, how many hours, if it was minutes, whatever. And he had a huge spreadsheet in his room, and that's how they found him after they killed him.
Wow.
He went to jail or something. I can't remember what happened to him or who it was.
And not to mention, you know, getting on YouTube or anything, all the training you can receive on anything.
Yeah.
And firearms and, you know how things work and, you know, everyone posts everything now. You know, you can see how a police station operates day to day. They'll just, you know, stuff like that. And, you know, maybe that's a future discussion where people have to start taking a step back. And I think in the last decade or so, we started getting the phones and that started turning into the Facebook and we started getting all these apps and socials. And I think it's really been a growing period, like just like a growing phase of like, just people getting used to it. Yeah. Having all this stuff so available all the time. And I think it's been difficult for us to get used to. And we've had so many bumps in the road. You know, if you follow the internet, I mean, people have messed up a lot on it, and it's not going to stop messing up. But I think eventually we're headed towards a kind of a little bit of a downhill where things kind of level off a little bit. I hope, even though everything, you know, we have the whole newest, shiniest, newest app, newest, you know, thing going on all the time where people get riled up and new trends and, you know, different stuff like that happens. But I think it's still part of this. I think the hype isn't going to die down on the phones and the stuff, but I mean, people are going to get used to it, I think, a little bit more. And it's going to be
You think they would have already?
You'd think so, but we're slow. We're a slow race. We're a slow people.
I mean, it took us this long to get to where we are.
Exactly. But
when aliens are so far ahead of us.
I try to be a little bit optimistic about stuff like that, you know, when I think about it. But yeah, when you just talk about, you know, violence in general, I think part of all this growing phase and all this stuff being so available and so many people now having voices that matter and people actually listen to them, you know, you have a lot of crap out there.
It's garbage. And people don't even care.
people
suck it up
and people
enjoy.
listen, and there's a whole, it's a real thing where, I mean, you can, it's just like people take a lot of what they learn on a daily basis from just a headline.
Yeah.
I mean,
And I've done it.
Yeah, exactly.
Personally, I mean, you're scrolling through Facebook and just scrolling. Oh, that looks interesting. Let me see. Oh, 12 people killed, blah, blah, blah. Keep going.
Yeah, exactly. And you're like, oh, maybe
It doesn't even phase us anymore.
No, it
We're
doesn't.
so inundated with all the crap.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. We're just like, oh, I don't want to see that because it's too dark and I'm trying to be happy today.
Not most people, though. Most people are like, yep, give me it, all of it. And
Well, no, I mean, and I'm not saying that you're a bad person either way. I'm just saying, like, we're so inundated. We see 12 people killed and we keep scrolling.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even phase us.
Yeah.
That's 12 human lives that were murdered for no reason.
I think a lot of people just don't know how to feel about that now.
I agree. And I'm not saying that I'm innocent.
Right. And I think that's another part of all this is like, oh, I didn't know any of those people, and I mean, they just had another
They didn't
one.
mean anything to me.
They just had another one a couple of months ago. Like these are just words on a screen to me,
Mm-hmm.
and it is desensitized, and it is
Until it happens close to home.
exactly, and you have no idea. I have no idea what that's like.
Yeah.
Until something were to happen.
Well, like this shooting in Whitechapel.
Yeah. That one. You know, people.
That one hits home for me.
Exactly. Things happen around the country in different places and stuff, but this happened in a church in Texas.
Less than 45 minutes from where we're at right now.
Yeah, and it's a similar setup to something that we're used to.
Yeah.
And
it's almost exactly how my church operates.
Exactly.
I've researched it a little bit, and the guy is the head of security, maintenance, or the volunteer security of the church.
Mm-hmm.
He's a firearms instructor.
Yeah.
Who is that for you?
Exactly. It's Walt.
That's Walt.
Yeah.
And whether you agree with what he said or not, or what he did or not, he eliminated the target in one shot from 30 yards away.
Have people been disagreeing with him?
Oh, yes.
Really?
Oh, yes.
I didn't hear that part.
People are saying that people shouldn't. I saw one guy posting on Facebook saying that 3 people could have tackled that guy and it'd have been over.
They tried.
Yes, there was people that tried to go and 3 people got murdered.
Yeah.
3 people are dead because of this man, and people are still defending him, saying that the church didn't do enough when he first got there. Saying, well, they saw him. They obviously knew that he was distraught. They should have talked to him. Yes, I understand we should. As a church, we should go up to guests and shake their hand and say, how are you? I'm glad to see you're here. Can I get you anything? You want some coffee? You want water?
I mean,
and we try at our church at least.
Yeah, I would say it's not said that they didn't do that.
Yeah.
He acknowledged that they all acknowledged that someone has said that he looked strange, and no one knows. We don't know if someone actually talked to him or not.
I know. I watched an interview with. I can't remember the man's name.
I wish I meant to put it on here and I didn't.
And I can't remember, but I watched an interview with him, and the way that he described it was the most graceful and the best way that I think anybody could have described what they did.
Mm-hmm.
He eliminated the threat. He said he didn't see it as a human being at that point. He saw it as somebody who was a demon who was trying to kill his friends and family. And that's what it was. There was a man,
at least.
Yes, I'm not saying that the man was a demon. I'm not saying that he was a terrible person. I'm not saying anything like that.
No, I think that's what he was trying to say.
Exactly.
In the moment, all that goes away. And I'm sure even now, how long has it been? Weeks?
A week?
A week?
A week and a half?
I'm sure he's extremely devastated that he had to do that.
I will say that man's business is going to substantially grow.
Oh,
and I'm not trying to joke about it or anything. It's not funny, but it's a real thing. Yeah. That guy teaches an LTC class, and people are going to want to learn from him.
And that's one of the things I've actually been extremely impressed, I think I'd say, about this whole thing going on this last week. I haven't done a whole lot of research into it. I've been kind of kind of guilty of doing just, the headline thing,
Mhm.
whatever. And I did watch his interview with him, but everything I've seen, casually just scrolling through everything, I've never heard the killer's name.
No.
I've only ever seen the man that protected his church, and I've only ever seen his face, and people giving him respect. And I know that people disagree, but for the majority, I've seen people, reach out to him and reach out to the families that have been affected, and people being supportive for the most part.
Yeah.
And
Like I said, I saw a couple of people that were kind of, I wouldn't say shaming him, but saying, hey, there could have been a better way that you did this. And
probably could.
they're not 100% wrong,
No.
but at that moment, that's what he was trained to do.
Yeah.
And that's what he did.
Mhm.
And I respect the man for doing it. And if it happened in my church, I probably wouldn't be the one that actually shot the guy, but I definitely would be one of the guys that had their pistol out. Definitely.
Yeah.
I might have been one of the guys that got shot, though, because he was up against the wall and that's where I sit in church.
Yeah. That's just,
But it's just like, the first thing I thought of as soon as I saw that was my church. And if it had happened at my church, I sit right in the front, right next to all the youth group.
yeah. And
My main mission is to protect that youth group.
that was my instant thought. Was not even myself attending there. It was what, well, I wonder what Shannon thinks right now.
Yeah.
I can't believe, and Walt as well. I'd like to talk to him about it,
We're definitely going to have him. I think he'll probably be our first guest.
Yeah, for sure. But
Didn't we talk about that to somebody the other day? Oh, yeah, Donovan was like, can I come on?
yeah, because I asked.
And we will have him on.
I asked
for
when
sure.
we were gonna have. I was, I think we need to get the ball rolling and eventually do that.
Yeah.
Hopefully, maybe when we have another set, some better setup. But,
I mean, we could do it somewhere else.
we'll get the ball rolling on it at least. But it's when I realize, it's like we said, a church that set up like it's close to us, and it's set up a lot like with people a lot like us, and it's just that hits it a whole different way than even like Las Vegas or anything like that did. It's just like, because that's something that I experienced. Sometimes you experience most Sundays, and that was.
And there's
real.
people that have come into our church that we've had to watch and keep an eye on and make sure that, we don't want to make anybody uncomfortable at church, but at the same time, if you look fishy, we're going to watch you.
Yeah.
Even if you've been going there for years and years and years, and we love you and we know your heart, people snap. People are fragile, and they think that they can take more than they can, and sometimes it just snaps. And like I said, we watch everyone. If you come into the church on Sunday and you're acting weird, we're going to watch you and make sure that we don't have to worry about you.
Right.
Now, I say I'm not on the security team currently.
Right.
But
You're
I'm
active.
close to the security team. I sit with the head of security at our church, and right behind all the youth group, he sits there to keep an eye on the pastor because he's right there. He can get to him quick. I'm right there so that I can help with the youth.
So you're just, and especially you're just someone, at least now, with that mindset.
Yeah.
And those thoughts naturally come through your head, and that's something you break down and you try to understand, and you look at a situation all the time from that standpoint, which is a really handy thing.
Yeah.
It's gotten me when I've started carrying and looking into it, I do go and when I do have a firearm on me, every building I go into is different. Even if I've been there a million times, it's a completely different situation. I'm rethinking every step I take, and it's not like and I always even know to myself, in a situation, the last thing I'm going to ever do is to draw my weapon.
Yeah.
If I can avoid it.
My thinking is, say we're in a restaurant well, maybe not a restaurant, maybe like a store, like Walmart.
Okay.
If we're in Walmart and there's an active shooter, and I see him, but I'm off to the side a little bit, my first mission is to get my wife and my kid to safety.
Yeah.
And we're gonna hunker down. And I'm not gonna say that I'm gonna put my tail between my legs and hide because I'm scared. I'm hiding because I have to worry about my wife and kid. If I go up there and try to engage this shooter and he kills me, my wife and kid don't have me anymore. And I don't want my kid to have to grow up without me. I know it might sound a little bit selfish, but
it doesn't. That's not what I meant by that agreement.
no, it's that I know that my son's life wouldn't be as good without me. I know people whose fathers have died, whether their father was bad or good or whatever, it affects them and it messes them up. So I want to be there so my kid can actually know me and know who I am, know what kind of person I am.
Yeah.
So my first goal is to get my kid and my wife to safety and hide. And if the shooter comes towards us, threatening us, that's when I draw my weapon. And that's when as soon as my weapon comes out, I'm not hesitating.
There's no choice.
Yeah.
At that point.
But I'm gonna try to protect my wife and kid, regardless. If I'm by myself, then I'm just splitting. I'm dipping out the back door. I'm sorry. I'm calling the cops on my way.
Yeah.
But my kid and my wife are my first priority.
Yeah, and I don't know if people think this or not. I didn't think about it before we did our concealed handgun training. In our class, it was made clear to us by Walt that just because you carry a firearm in yourself does not mean you are the responsible one. You're supposed to be the hero.
Yeah.
That you are the one that you are. They're not giving you a badge and they're saying you have to go take this person down now. That is for you to make. I mean, whatever decision you see fit in that situation, and if you don't ever draw your weapon, it's not your fault. And you don't act on something, you do dip out the back door, nothing is your fault for that. And that's not your burden to bear, even though that's a choice. You're just having that ability to protect yourself and others.
Yeah. Well, on that same page though, what I didn't think about before I got my LTC was that you're responsible for that bullet.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, no matter where that bullet goes, whether you stop the bad guy or not, you're responsible for every piece of metal that leaves that gun. So say I shoot somebody in the back of shoot somebody in that. Actually, I thought about it right before we got our LTCs because I remember thinking about it. If I shoot somebody in the head, it's not a whole lot to stop that bullet. If I'm shooting them with a 40 or a 45, it's going through and it's coming out the other side and it's going somewhere. If there's somebody behind him and it kills them, I'm responsible for killing that person.
I think that's something that not a lot of people think about when they do want that protection, and that's not because I didn't have that thought either until that was made clear to us in our training that know what's behind, know what's behind, know what's around you.
But that's like for home defense. People have a 45 underneath their bed or under their nightstand or whatever. And in my house, say I was in my house and an intruder comes in my door and I walk to the front door or right by the front door, if I shoot that guy in the head or in the chest or abdomen or wherever, and that bullet goes through him, it goes straight into my son's room. If my son didn't know the guy was there and he was sitting on his floor in his room, I just killed my son. And there's nothing that's going to bring him back.
Yeah.
And it's my fault that he's dead. I'm trying to protect him, yes. That's what I was doing when I did it. But I killed him because I wasn't responsible enough to make the decision to have a smaller firearm or a shotgun or something that
round that won't
go
through anything.
And that's why I have a 9mm, and that's why it has hollow points.
Yeah.
Is because I know that it'll still go through. I'm aware of that. But after it goes through, it's going to slow down substantially.
Yeah.
Especially with the hollow points.
Mm-hmm.
But I just, I don't have a lot of, I have a lot of empathy for people, and I would feel terrible if I accidentally shot somebody.
Yeah.
It would kill me. If I accidentally killed somebody's kid or even an adult, it would kill me, It would mess me up for life. I'd be in an insane asylum.
Mm-hmm. And if you're someone that's thinking about, something like that, that is something you like I was thinking, that's not something you should obsess over too much.
Yeah.
Because you can just drive yourself nuts.
Yeah.
About that. I don't think most people would, but that is something you definitely need to have at least that conversation in your head with yourself.
Yeah.
About remember what am I responsible for, and taking to evaluate that situation, and even before you get your license or anything, evaluate yourself, and think about what you may have to do, and
you may have to kill somebody.
Yeah.
You may. Okay, let me rephrase that, because somebody's going to say you never have to kill somebody.
Like I said, you don't have the responsibility to do it, but if you are not prepared and you do something unintentionally that you regret, that with a firearm, that's never going to change, and that's going to haunt you forever. Even if you have to take a bad person's life away, that could destroy you forever.
It could, because you may find out after, say somebody came in your house with a gun and is trying to rob you. That person is trying to get monetary things. He's got a gun. He's ready to get monetary stuff from you. You kill him. Game over. It's done. Taken care of. 3 weeks later, you're sitting there, and people are protesting at your door because you used a firearm to kill somebody, and he had a wife and kid, and he was trying to get money for his wife and kid. Mm-hmm. Or his mom has cancer and is dying, and he can't afford the medication to keep her alive.
Right.
You have to deal with that eventually. And me personally, I would feel like crap.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, he was a bad guy. He tried to take what I had from me and my family to help him with his life. I understand. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you're going through what you're going through, but I can't feel responsible for that.
Right.
Because you chose to come in my house with a gun and endanger my life, my wife's life, and my son's life.
Exactly.
End of story. You're done. If it was just me in my house, I'd probably still would shoot. But
But that's a conversation, again, like you need to have with yourself. You can't be prepared for every single situation, but you kind of have to think, in this moment, the way your house is set up, you're separated from your son, you don't know what's going on, so in that moment, okay, is my TV worth it? And that's a thing you get in that moment. It doesn't matter. He's just taking a TV. Mm-hmm. There's someone here, and I have a son and a wife, or whatever your situation is. There's someone here who's dangerous, and
they already have the moral compass out of whack enough to come in my house and try to steal from me. Mm-hmm. Steal the stuff that I work hard for. And some of my stuff I didn't pay for, somebody gave me.
Right.
The stuff that's worth the most in my house, I didn't pay for.
Yeah.
My TV, you gave me. My PlayStation 4, Donovan gave me. My shotgun, my dad gave me. My pistol, my wife bought me with my money. But, my pistol and my rifle were the only things in my house that I paid not even a lot of money for, but they're the most expensive things in my house that I paid for. Like, I'm blessed with good friends and good people that help me out, and not just help me out, but do stuff for me that they don't have to. This is our podcast dog, Wink, by the way. Let's take it to a lighter note.
Yep. Back to dogs. No.
But yeah, I don't take it as I failed at life if I killed somebody on accident, or if I killed somebody because they were robbing me.
Yeah.
I take it as, I'm sorry that this is happening to you and your family, but you made this choice.
Right.
It's a life decision.
Yeah.
And that's what it boils down to, is life decisions.
Yeah. And just, consider things before you act. I mean, just going into that situation, it's a scary situation. And if you've had this conversation with yourself or even others or whatever, you have some kind of game plan or whatever, that can make that much better. I mean, we can't ever be prepared for everything, but, doing what you can and, beforehand to just prepare yourself as much as possible mentally, and having that idea of what would I do, what does this look like, just in yourself is,
and not just short term, long term.
Exactly. How am I going to feel in that situation where I destroy someone's family?
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to be able to live with that?
Because the bottom line is, if you end up having to kill somebody, regardless, it's going to hurt somebody else. It's not going to hurt them anymore. They don't have to deal with it anymore. It's the other people in their lives that have to deal with it after that.
Right.
And I've thought about it hard, and I've thought about it a lot, because, I mean, I don't know. It's just a hard thought.
Yeah. It's one that's real and that needs to be thought, and obviously not obsessed over and not overdone.
Yeah. Because you'll drive yourself crazy.
Exactly. That's like I said, you cannot prepare for everything.
Yeah. But
you can sure as hell try. But, I mean, and even with all this, everything that's going on, talking about guns, and people start going back on those, and people wanting more to protect themselves, people kind of dividing on that. A lot of this goes just back to, what we see on Facebook and what we read in articles. And this stuff has a lot of pull on how people make decisions, how people vote, and how things get done.
Mm-hmm.
And
I've never voted.
I haven't either.
I've never even registered to vote.
I haven't. Well, I've registered once.
I'm going to this year just because I feel like I haven't done my due as an American, because we have that right, and I've never used it.
Right.
But I've changed a lot in my thinking. I used to just think if I don't vote, I don't have to complain about it.
Yeah.
Which is it's true.
Right.
But at the same time, if I don't vote, then how can I voice my opinions?
Yeah, exactly.
So I will be voting this year. I'm not going to tell you who I'm voting for or why I'm voting for them. I might one day, but I don't even know who I'm voting for yet. I'm the type of person that I can't make a decision unless I do some research.
Yeah.
So I'll have to do research. I'm not a person that's going to go and waste a whole vote on somebody and be like, oh yeah, I voted for them, but I just was writing stuff on the bill.
That was kind of my thinking. The last time we had an election was, man, I couldn't find anything real on anyone. I don't think I couldn't find out what anyone was, trying to do. All I could find was just people talking.
Spitting.
Yeah, all I can see is, well, she did this, he did this, he did that, and it just turned me off of it, and I was like, I can't make a truthful decision on this. Yeah. I know what people have told me, I know what, but I feel like I couldn't make my own educated decision on it.
Yeah.
And, but I mean, that stuff just, and then you have, people, come out, there's celebrities, and then now the big news people, and, anyone with, a lot of following can genuinely turn people.
Yeah. They can sway which way the argument goes.
And I think, going back to...
And some of that's good.
Yeah.
And some of it's bad.
And I think going back to the violence, as much as, all this stuff's going on, we have, some of the worst mass shootings ever going on. If you really look into numbers and things that go on going on in the country, there are a lot of misconceptions about violence in the U.S.
Yeah, and what weapons are used and all that stuff.
That's a big one.
That's a whole nother topic
That's
for
a
a whole
very
other day.
That's a very big one, is what weapons are used. But as horrible as all these things happen, as much as we hear about them now, things are down. Things are better.
And a lot of it has
Things
to do
are-
with mental health.
And things are getting better, yes. And I think everyone is just trying to do the same thing. You know, well, everyone, just no one wants anyone to die, obviously. And
I don't
a lot
know.
of people have, well, that's a different thing.
There's
too.
some terrible people.
That's different. Well, I mean, I'm just talking
It's hard to
about-
say anything without being like, well, it could be.
Well,
different.
I'm just kind of talking
Yeah.
about, you know, people that are trying to get rid of guns now, or, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Kind of getting into, you know, there's just a lot of words being said, and, you know, sometimes most of the time it's not well thought out
Yeah.
and not well researched. And I mean, that's from just
And not very good, well articulated.
no, not really. But it works still. And, you know, anyone can have a pull.
Yeah.
And anyone can sway. And, you know, anyone can go cry on TV and make people ask. But,
Easy killing.
yeah, I'm just saying.
All right. Well, we've been pretty serious this whole podcast.
This
It was
is what
good.
this is what I wanted for
Yeah.
this one. I kind of wanted to get into it a little bit.
I will say, so I talked to that guy, Tim Searles, the one with the Feed a Hero thing.
Mhm.
And like I told you, he invited us to go out to his private range
Right.
to go shoot, and we can make videos out there and stuff, which we may do one day. But he told us that our last podcast, because he went and watched it,
Oh, yeah?
because I told him that we talked about him, and he's like, yeah, it was kind of Beavis and Butthead, like. And
Really?
it's like, okay, you know, that's amusing. He's like, it was funny, it was good, but it was a little Beavis and Butthead. So we want to show y'all that we're not actually just Beavis and Butthead, and we have
No.
some. I think that we have something worthwhile to hear, and
I think so too. You know, we're gonna get more comfortable, I think, with it as
Yeah.
time goes on, and
we'll open up more.
and we don't want this to just be sad and serious. We don't just want this to be light and funny, whatever. You know, it's just us, really, and it's just kind of whatever we come up with for the next one. And I mean, we're gonna have fun with it, yeah, but we're gonna get into, you know, what
tougher topics.
Yeah. Speaking of which, let's get into something a little bit lighter.
Oh, what's that?
That's this week's Strange Corners of the Internet that Shannon's gonna do this time. He's got one for us.
All right, so the one that I have is Critical Role.
Yeah.
Now, this could also be considered a podcast because we do
It
the
is.
podcast that we listen to thing too.
Yes.
So it's Critical Role, and it's D&D. So if you don't know what D&D is, Dungeons and Dragons came out in the 80s. It's a tabletop game. You don't even have to have a map. You don't have to have anything except an imagination.
Right.
And sometimes you don't even need that because there's books. But we started playing last year with Steve and some other people,
Mm-hmm.
and we had a lot of fun doing it. So we're gonna try to start it up again and do it again.
Yep.
It's a fantasy role playing game.
Right, but Critical Role specifically.
Critical Role is they do YouTube videos. They're on Twitch. Mostly they live stream on Twitch, and they record it, and then it turns into podcast form, and that's what I listened to them on
Right.
originally. And so basically, they just play D&D, but they're voice actors.
Right.
So they do different voices for their characters, and they on the videos they dress up sometimes.
Yeah, they're all
and
making nerds that are really good at it.
Matt Mercer is the DM, which is the dungeon master. He's the one that runs the whole show, and he is an amazing voice actor.
Yep.
And so each person plays a different character, and like my last one was a halfling rogue, which is a little person, and he was a thief, so he stole everything.
Oh, that's what we need on our desk is our little guys.
Oh yeah, we
Yeah.
should have brought those.
I got my barbarian. He's got his little rogue.
So the thing about it is it's just a lot of people in the 80s. People were calling it satanic.
Yeah.
Because it was like, witches and wizards and warlocks and demons, and you fought people and you used magic, and I can see how some people would think that.
Oh yeah.
But it's not. It's fun, and we enjoyed doing it, and we're gonna do it again. We're thinking about doing a video of it. Maybe.
Yeah, we might like even stream it, or
Maybe.
like we'll figure something out for it.
But so anyway, Matt Mercer is also a voice actor. All the people there are voice actors. Some of them are ridiculously crazy. Some of them are just funny. One of the girls did Gohan's voice in Dragon Ball Z.
Oh wow.
I don't know what any of the other ones did, to be honest.
Yeah,
I know Matt Mercer is in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and soon they'll have.
They're doing a cartoon of their first season.
Yeah.
So it'll be that'll be good. I think that'll be fun. They're all gonna voice their own characters. So as the DM, Matt Mercer voices every character except for the characters that the people playing are. He voices all the NPCs, which is non-player characters.
Yep.
And there's thousands of them in one session, because they go into an inn and they talk to the innkeeper, and he's got a backstory, and they talk to him, and he does a great job because he gives every single person a backstory.
Right.
And he does names for every person, and you stop on the side of the road and you see 4 people walk by. What do? Oh, I'm going to talk to this guy. Oh, his name is Admiral Spanky Pants, or whatever his name is, and he gives him a voice, and he makes every single person like it's an actual person.
Yeah.
And so it's really cool to listen to. It's long. Sometimes it goes on for a while because they've got to you roll dice for whatever you're doing, whether it's an attack or whether you're talking to somebody and trying to persuade them to say something,
right.
or you're trying to lockpick something or break something.
There's a lot of, from what I've played Dungeons and Dragons, we've played, you would come up on a situation and, say you're in a fight, well, especially if you're like us, or me at least, that hasn't played much, you're thinking through every little decision you make, so you get to attack someone, and so you're like, oh, what can I do? So can I use this thing? Or you're asking questions, and it's it could be like a 5-minute discussion before you just do one little move and do one thing. And
I think the last time we played for 5 hours.
Oh yeah, and we didn't get anything done.
Nothing.
We barely walked into a cave or something.
Yeah.
It
took us 4 sessions to get to the dragon on that one thing.
Yeah. Gosh, is it fun though?
It is fun.
Talk about a time killer.
Yeah, and they say video games are a time suck. Man, D&D is a time suck, but it's all out of your own head.
Yeah,
and it's out of the DM's head. So you could be in the forest, just walking to go to another place, and as you're walking, you see some bandits on the side of the road robbing a stagecoach. Do you choose to? What are you gonna do? You're gonna keep walking and just wave and say, "Hey, what's up?" and keep going. Or are you going to try to stop the bandits from robbing the stagecoach?
Yeah.
Turns out maybe the stagecoach is a bad guy too, and once you stop the bandits, the stagecoach kills you.
Yeah. And I just had no idea when I got in, when Shannon brought up, starting to play Dungeons and Dragons, just the community that there is for it.
Oh, yeah.
It's just insane. That's where, Critical Role has millions of listeners and millions of,
We call them critters.
Critters. Yeah, exactly. And like I said, they're having a Amazon Prime TV show coming out. It's huge, and so for a few months ago, I'd never thought once about D&D.
They broke the record for what's that place? The GoFundMe thing.
Really?
They broke the record because they started a GoFundMe. Was it a GoFundMe or was it a Kickstarter?
It was probably Kickstarter.
So they did a Kickstarter, and it was like, hey, we need this much to start. We're going to try to make an episode.
Yeah.
One episode for the show. By the end of that day, they had met their goals, and within 3 or 4 days, they had over $1 million. Or no, a couple $100,000.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Just people just gave them money, poured money into them. I was just like, I was baffled.
Yeah,
Like,
just people
how
handing
did
them
this
money
happen?
where they get nothing in return.
It's like that meme that everybody does with Fry from
shut
Futurama.
up and take
Shut
my
up and take my money.
money.
And that's what it was. I didn't give him any of my money, but
Nope.
I was just like, man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Critical Role. On the gun topic, I did want to say Colion Noir.
Mm-hmm.
Is that how you pronounce it? Probably not.
Loosely Colion.
All right, so he's awesome. Following him on Instagram. Cooper not introduced me, but showed him to me, and I started following him. And I agree with, I would say at least 90% of what he says. I agree with.
Mm-hmm.
There are some things that he says that I'm like, dude, you're going a little Rambo there, but he's trying. He's working his butt off. He's a very intelligent man. I think he was a lawyer at one point.
Yes.
Very intelligent, very articulate,
Mm-hmm.
just, great guy. But he's starting a podcast.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I just saw it on Instagram the other day that he's starting the Colion Noir podcast. So we'll see how that goes, and I'm definitely going to watch it
Yeah,
or listen to it.
definitely. I'm getting into that.
I'd like to meet the guy.
Yeah, hopefully we will someday. That
Maybe our podcast can
yeah.
grow. And
Well, I mean,
could
if
be a big
you
one
saw,
for us.
if anyone saw the YouTube video we have on YouTube right now, go watch the YouTube videos we have right now. I went to, what is it freaking called? TDSA
Yeah.
range. It's the range. If you know who Colion Noir is, it's the same range he goes and makes all his first mag videos and whatnot when he's not doing something else, some other training in a different state or whatnot.
Mhm.
It's his main place we go to, and he wasn't there that day, but we definitely, if we keep going back, it's not a
Uncommon to see him there.
no, not at all. And from what I hear, he's an amazing dude. He's just nice to be around, shoot guns with, obviously. And,
I'm sure we can learn things from him.
oh yeah, and we'll start getting. That's one thing we're gonna start getting into. We're both gonna kind of try to step up our game a little bit with the
Training.
guns. Yeah, we're gonna be receiving some training and
We're going to do
Yeah.
some videos. We met some people that do, what's that coating called?
coding.
The coating on the guns.
Oh, Cerakote.
Cerakote. So we met some guys that do Cerakoting, and they do. He had a pistol that he built from scratch, everything, and it was cool. He owns a gun shop that's also going to be a range soon. Their range equipment got on back order, so they can't open it yet, which sucks, man. You open up a business and try to get going,
Yeah,
and
the
then
store's just sitting there now.
Yeah.
And just run, trying
I mean,
money.
it's a cool store,
Yeah,
but once the range opens up, that's when they're gonna.
that's when it's gonna be.
It's right in Chrome, called Top Dog. It used to be in Louisville, I guess,
Yes,
but they've got their own property. They got their own building.
it's a family owned.
It's-
From what we've seen so far, some great people. That
Yeah,
run that
really
place.
nice people. Go check them out if you're in the area.
Yeah, definitely.
Um,
Go find out what their plans are going to be soon. They will be conducting their own types of training.
Yeah.
And up there, and it should be a great opportunity for people to be learning up there, especially if you're in the local area.
But we asked them about doing some videos of actually doing the Cerakoting and stuff like that, which would be fun.
Yeah.
I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, we'll see what comes of it for
Yeah.
sure. But yeah, I mean, we have some things in the works here, and I'm not sure when the next time we're gonna do this, but yeah,
Probably in the next couple weeks, hopefully.
hopefully, yeah, we'll try to keep on this regular schedule a little bit.
All right. Well, the girls are starting to get loud out
Yeah.
there.
Everyone's back home.
If you're watching this, thank you. Leave a comment, drop a like, subscribe.
Send questions, please.
Yes,
Interact,
send
or
questions.
comments, whatever, just anything.
Follow us on Instagram.
Let us know you're actually there.
I need you.
I'm not sure.
Betrayal.
All the I know we've gotten a few views on our videos. I'm not sure if they're all just mine.
I know for a fact I didn't look at it 140 times.
Yeah.
Okay. So
This is
there's
awesome.
at least 40
Okay.
that aren't us.
as small as that sounds for YouTube standards, I'm super.
Oh, I was so
excited about
we
that.
hit 100 in less than in like a week and a half. I was like,
Exactly. So yeah, anyone who watched, thanks.
Yes,
That's really awesome, and keep watching. Tell people, you know, to watch it, to just have them laugh at some stupid dudes talking.
Yeah, I mean, we're dumb, we know it, but we're trying. But thank you. Here's what we should do.